who have formed top 10 candidates with excellent marks. That is score across the country. And before I get to hear a word from the officers in charge here, that we are still having at this moment 23 students sitting for KCPE, and we have 20 sitting for KEPSEA, as the registered ones at the KEPSEA were actually 31, but 11 of them have since moved to other facilities, and for the KCPE examination, one has already secured his release, and he's moved to Bungoma, where he was skeptical of coming back to handle the exam as well. Remember, this is a security area guarded heavily by the security agents, provided this by the law to take care of the inmates in here, as it is a correction facility. And as in it, part of the correction, what the correction does is education and transformation, where we have industries. But as such, we have two gentlemen here who are just going to be joining us. Introduce yourself to our viewers. Bring us up to speed, how prepared you are, and what else you could wish us to have.
Welcome to Naivasha Maximum Security Prison. Our mandated prison officers are three. One, it concerns the safe custody of the inmates. Second, we have the facilitation of justice, whereby we always take the prisoners to the court. And thirdly, we deal with the rehabilitation. Education comes in the side of the rehabilitation. That is where we deal with the justice and the school. In our place, we have the Naivasha Independent Education Center. We are fully prepared by now for the exams. We have 20 inmates who are sitting for the KEPSEA. We have 22 who are sitting for the KCP. We are fully prepared on the side of the security, stationaries. Exams already have been collected from the sub-county container. Inmates are comfortable with what they are doing, and we wish them the best. Yeah, that is what I can only say.
So somebody watching you just wants to understand these inmates. How do they get to do the exam? What initiatives do you induce them to make sure they get to learning? And who is their teachers?
We have competitive teachers from universities. We have other inmates, even inmates who already qualify as teachers, and we prepare them fully so that we can cope with the type of the work they always do, just like the rest of the people outside the prison. Yeah. This
is a prison with so many inmates inside. Why have a very low turnout of those who are sitting for the examinations?
You know, it depends on the will of the inmate. Most of those who are in the school were arrested before they complete the exams. So at that juncture, we give them the opportunity to complete the exam, bearing in our mind that the exams are from the bodies that even the other bodies, natural bodies, we at least give them the opportunity they need. Yeah, like just like the body outside there.
So the inmates in here are on long term. How then will this education impact on their well-being after they are out of this place?
After completing the KCPE, they move to Form 1, then up to Form 4. For example, we have from next Tuesday, we have inmates who are sitting for the KCSC, 14 of them. Then after that, we have in tertiary colleges, financial management, and even computer studies. Then after that, when we want to visit them, we just recommend to the POMAC, Power of Mercy, so that they can be released, and make sure that when they go outside, we help them to integrate with those people who they left there. That's all I can comment. Yeah.
So what would you like to say to inmates across other places and such inmates when they go out, as I wind up?
I would like to make my comments that we love these inmates. That is why we take the advantage of taking them to the school. We wish them the best. We want them to pass just like anybody else. And at least, even from the other inmates within the Republic of Kenya, I wish them the best. We wish that we are going to pass the exam just like anybody else.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, sir. I got one gentleman here who is in charge of the academy, but due to rank, he's not eligible for a discussion here of. We are here courtesy of the in charge of this facility, Mr. Hassan Tari, who is on other responsibilities as well here. And he has indeed alluded to that fact that we have 1,113 inmates on life sentence, and we have 1,081 on long term, and we have also special categories of 16. Remember, this is a correctional facility, the largest in East and Central Africa, the most guarded facility right here, and it is a spillover to every other correction facilities across the country where whatever is spillover comes right here in Naivasha. It is big. It is a big facility sitting on a 20-acre piece of land, as you can see where we are right now. And a few moments back, you saw the exam just crossover, and any moment from now, we are going to be having the exam. And just to bring us to our viewers to speed, we have had a few anomalies from the center where the exams were issued, where we have had cases. Some examinations are missing, but the in charge of the sub-county has alluded to the fact that they are going to be making calls to find where these exams could have been misplaced at the point of disbursement. We will be keeping tabs on the developments across the day, and we will be bringing you up to speed on what develops from this part of the county. From me, it's back to you, Indimoli, in our studios in Nairobi.
Thank you so much, Willie Dennis, coming to us live from Naivasha, outside the Naivasha GK prison, which is serving as an examination center for the ongoing KCPE, KPSEA, and even KCSE exam. Now, I'm still in studio with Brenda Kinyotieno, Peter Munga, and Olive Mbuthi. I'd like to give you an opportunity to have your final thoughts on our discussion today on navigating Kenya's education transition from 844 to CBC now that we're beginning the last KCPE today. Let's start with you, Brenda.
I am quite optimistic that we are going to work hand in hand as collective responsibility as Kenyans, that we see to it that our children have a very bright future, a future that is well equipped, a future that has no gray hairs. And so I call upon all the stakeholders to work hand in hand with the government to call the shots where necessary to be able to see that equity becomes the key priority to education. Thank you.
Thank you. Bonamunga.
Yes, the issue is funding. Education funding is the biggest problem. And if, as a country, we could just get our funding for schools and for education right, half of the problems that we have will be solved. So let us think of ways to fund. Let the government release money to schools. As I speak right now, some of the capitation for most of the schools, universities, and all the education sector has not been forthcoming. We are appealing to the government to release money into schools. The money that is supposed to fund free secondary school education, let it reach schools on time. Or, if this is not possible, let the government just be honest enough and say, free education in this country is not possible, and let us look for ways as parents to think of how to educate our children.
Okay, finally, Olive.
Yes, I think mine is to appeal to the government and the politicians and the leadership in education that when we are now transitioning to CBC, that we don't forget the vision and the mission of CBC, and we keep to that, and we put in the right resources, prepare our teachers well so that they can actually be able to take CBC forward. And I think I'm also appealing to our parents, because sometimes our parents don't know much about CBC and they tend to critique it based on what the others have told them. I think it would be important for parents to talk with teachers and find out what is CBC, rather than pick things that others are talking about, yet you don't understand what CBC is about. We wish all our learners all the best as they go through the exams and the assessment.
Okay, thank you so much, Olive Mbuthi, former Deputy Director, Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, and an education consultant. Peter Amonga, education researcher working with the Kenya Women Teachers Association, and Brenda Kinyotieno, education policy analyst. Thank you so much for your very well-considered opinions on this matter of education transition. Allow me to go through this editorial comment as we come to the end of our session this morning. Now, this morning, in about 30 minutes or so, some 1.4 million candidates are sitting for this year's KCPE mathematics exam, the highest number of KCPE candidates in history. Now, this cohort also represents the last generation to go through the 844 system, which has been the backbone of Kenyan primary education for almost 4 decades now. The transition to a new era, characterized by the competency-based curriculum, CBC, is now imminent. The 844 system, with its emphasis on national exams like the KCPE, has shaped the educational landscape in Kenya for years. The introduction of the CBC system was a crucial step towards a more holistic and practical approach to education. However, now more than ever, there's need for the full and effective implementation of the new curriculum. This transition is not merely about a change in name. It's about revolutionizing the way students are taught, assessed, and prepared for the future. The new curriculum places a stronger emphasis on practical learning and skills development, which necessitates well-equipped learning environments, including access to proper classrooms, laboratories, performing theaters, and sports facilities. Now, the new curriculum further requires teachers to adapt to innovative teaching methods and focus on nurturing a student's broader set of skills beyond traditional academic subjects. Ensuring teachers are adequately prepared for this transition is paramount. The government needs to redouble its efforts and commitment to make the new system work by ensuring that all these facilities and resources are available and that all schools across the country are enabled to implement the new curriculum. Basic education is where it all begins, and we will be failing an entire generation if